What's up, Vikings Nation? If you thought this offseason would be quiet, think again. The Minnesota Vikings are officially labeled a few moves away from serious contention. But is that optimism real? Or are we ignoring a ticking time bomb at quarterback? 31 NFL teams fell short last season, and only one walked away with the Lombardi Trophy. That reality resets the league every single year. And for the Vikings, missing the postseason puts us at a crossroads that feels both frustrating and full of possibility. Today we're diving deep into what this ranking really means, what's holding the Vikings back, and why the 2026 NFL Draft could quietly define the future of this franchise. Let's start with perspective. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Minnesota Vikings are not in rebuild mode, not in panic mode, and not blowing things up. They sit in that intriguing second tier labeled a few moves away. After finishing 9-8 and narrowly missing bigger seeding implications back in 2024 with that painful Week 18 loss in Detroit, this team has shown it can compete. That's not fantasy, that's evidence. But being close in the NFL is dangerous territory. It's where hope and heartbreak live side by side. Fowler highlighted something Vikings fans already know. Kevin O'Connell wins football games. His 43-27 record, including playoffs through 4 seasons, speaks loudly. That kind of stability matters in a league where coaches get fired after one bad stretch. Tells us this regime isn't flailing. It's building. And when you combine that with a physical, opportunistic defense that thrives on turnovers, you see why analysts believe Minnesota isn't far off. But here's the elephant in the room: quarterback uncertainty. Again, the Vikings may add a veteran to compete with J.J. McCarthy, and while we've seen career resurgences before, remember Sam Darnold's revival here? Betting everything on maybe is risky. If this position doesn't stabilize, everything else stalls. Now let's talk about the offensive line, because it's impossible not to. Injuries absolutely wrecked continuity last season. The intended starting 5 of Christian Darrisaw, Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, Will Fries and Brian O'Neill played just 83 snaps together. 83. That's barely more than a single game. In total, the Vikings used 26 different offensive line combinations, the most in over a decade, trying to protect McCarthy, Carson Wentz, and Max Brosmer. That kind of instability crushes offensive rhythm. Here's the good news, though. McCarthy's development should take a massive leap. He's healthier than last year and now has around 10 games of real experience to analyze. Young quarterbacks often make their biggest jump between year 1 and year 2. The mental speed improves. The anticipation sharpens. If that happens, the Vikings' offense instantly looks more dangerous. Now let's shift gears to the 2026 NFL Draft, because this is where things get spicy. The Vikings currently sit at number 18 in round 1, and talent is everywhere in this class. At running back, Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame is drawing superstar comparisons. He's described as the total package: rugged runner, soft hands, polished pass catcher. Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska is another name climbing fast. Explosive, home run ability, and comparisons to Josh Jacobs in terms of scoring from anywhere. At wide receiver, Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, Carnell Tate from Ohio State, and Mekhi Lemon from USC headline a class that may not have a clear WR1, but is loaded with explosive playmakers. Zachariah Branch brings lightning speed and screen game electricity. Chris Brazell II from Tennessee adds more depth. If the Vikings want to inject more explosiveness into this offense, this draft offers tools. Defensively, the trenches are stacked. Peter Woods from Clemson, Caleb Banks from Florida, and Lee Hunter from Texas Tech headline interior defensive line prospects. Banks is labeled boom or bust with freakish upside. Hunter's tape has drawn comparisons to Vince Wilfork because of heavy hands and quickness at the point of attack. Adding power inside could elevate an already aggressive Vikings defense. Now let's talk cornerbacks, because if you know Brian Flores' turnover-obsessed philosophy, this matters. Jermud McCoy from Tennessee is an instinctive ball hawk. Mansour Delane from LSU brings versatility. Brandon Cisse plays with fearless aggression reminiscent of Josh Norman. These are defenders built to generate chaos. And at safety, Caleb Downs from Ohio State leads the group, but Kyle Lewis and Bud Clark stood out at the Senior Bowl. Clark had 15 interceptions over his final seasons at TCU. That's production you cannot ignore. Lewis, though technically a linebacker in college, showed coverage instincts that could allow him to float all over the field in the NFL. So here's the real question, Vikings fans, what's the move? Do you reinforce the trenches? Add another weapon? Double down in the secondary? Or prioritize quarterback competition to remove all doubt? The Minnesota Vikings are not broken. They are not rebuilding. They are hovering, and hovering can turn into soaring if the right buttons are pushed. The margin between a few moves away and true contender is razor thin in this league. So I want to hear from you. Are the Vikings truly just a few moves away? What position should be the top priority in the 2026 NFL Draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's debate this like true Purple faithful. If you love staying updated with Minnesota Vikings news, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with every Vikings fan you know. The climb is steep, but Vikings Nation has never been afraid of a challenge. Skol!